Hello everybody and welcome to Pokemon Firered, the revitalized conversion of the original Pokemon Red released on Game Boy Advance back in 2004. Pokemon Firered for me was up there with the pinnacle of Pokemon games. It had the original 151 Pokemon in the game I knew and loved as a child, tweaked and updated to the Generation 3 gameplay of Ruby and Sapphire. In this game, I'll be running through the game with one goal: to clear the game, completing all 8 gym badges scattered across the Kanto region, as well as completing the Elite Four, all with a single Pidgey. A Pidgey so awe-inspiring that Dragonites and Gyarados alike will bow to its glorious, death-giving wing beats. Trainers will cower, Team Rocket will grovel, and all things shall be Pidgey, for Pidgey is all. Maybe. There is but one problem with this concept. Pidgey, to put it no other way, is a bit lacking. Looking at Pidgey's stats, for whatever crazy reason completed only by the insanity conjured by the game's developers, I don't know why they would do this, Pidgey is down there with the weakest Pokemon in the game. Learned moves aren't much to go on, and the taught moves via TMs and HMs aren't much better. So, can Pidgey do it? Is it even possible for a Pidgey to take on the Elite Four? Have I finally lost it? We start in Pallet Town. After wandering into the long grass like a small child running into a busy road, we're quickly scooped up and given a deadly elemental energy spewing beast monster as a pet by a rather questionable authority figure in Professor Oak. Now our choice, Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, may seem pointless. None of these Pokemon are Pidgey, I hear you cry, and I hear you. There is, however, one clear choice, and that is Mr. Wet himself, Squirtle. Naming it the most useless thing I can think of, our rival, an equally useless thing, falls seamlessly into our trap, claiming Bulbasaur. Little does he know that Pidgey feasts on Bulbasaurs for breakfast. We try and leave only for our rival to challenge us to a duel I literally can't refuse, which brings us to the rules of our run. To complete this game, Pidgey is the only Pokemon that may gain XP. No other Pokemon in my party may at any time gain XP, or may be used willingly in any way in combat. When entering gyms or the Elite Four, only Pidgey can be in my party, except the gyms 3 and 4 which require Cut to be used to get in. In those cases, Cut-wielding Pokemon may accompany me, but only unconscious. You see, Pidgey doesn't play well with others. Speaking of, sticking to the rules above, I may catch other Pokemon for the sole purpose of using HMs to progress in the game, such as Surf and Strength, as well as to complete the Pokedex to obtain Flash in the early stages. I may also catch a couple of other Pokemon in the game just purely because I was bored, but I won't be using any of them unless they're used specifically for HMs. So with the rules set, I have only one option in this battle: to throw it as hard as I can. Eventually Oak is staggered to find me defeated, with not a single hit laid on my rival's Pokemon, but no matter. We scamper off to the north. En route 1 we claim a potion from a man and some grass, pick up a special package for Professor Oak from another man in a shop in nearby Viridian City. Returning to Professor Oak, before we can explain to him the illegality of getting an 11-year-old to pick up packages for him, he doubles up on whatever he's doing by giving us a Pokedex and some Pokeballs. Finally, we can get started. We pick up a map from a rival sister and head back out to Route 1, where we see it. Terrifying. Infamous. A soulless killer of 3-will and a destroyer of the dreams of trainers everywhere. Yes! This Pidgey will do just perfectly. We catch it and bestow upon it a name that will strike fear into the hearts of both children and adults alike wherever we go. Oxford. Truly the most evil creation known to man. That said, our Pidgey is questionable. I deliberately didn't farm Pidgeys for hidden stats or traits. This was the first we got, and oh boy, did we get a Pidgey. All Pidgeys have Keen Eye, allowing us to ignore any moves against us that lower our accuracy, which is very nice indeed, but this one is of a calm nature. Just like Oxford, it knows its superiority and is lazy with it. Calm lowers the attack of any Pokemon with that nature by 10%, and attack, well, that's the main asset in this run. Bugger. This run just got even more challenging. We head back to the tall grass and bash wild Pokemon into submission, raising Pidgey to level 5, gaining our first learned move, Sand attack. How better to spit on the dreams of the yearning masses than throwing sand in their eyes? Lovely. We then bank our Squirtle in the PC to hide its shame at not being Pidgey itself, where it must stay until we need it as an HM slave. Oh, poor Squirtle. We watch an old man full of coffee teach us how to handle his worm. Remember, of course, that in this game we are 11 years old, and we rush back to the shop to stock up on potions and other items. Clearing our money in this run to as close to zero as we can get it will be important. I am afraid that defeat is only ever one fight away, and the less we have, the less we need to give away in that eventuality. Oxford knows how to hide its money after all. Route 22, beneath the Elite Four Road, becomes Pidgey's hunting ground until level 9, where we learn Gust, a move where we flap so hard we engulf enemies in their own auras of disappointment, our first flying move of the game. With this, our Pidgey ascends to its true form, that of a rival crusher, and we hunt down Sankore. Like the fool he is, our rival attempts to sand attack our Pidgey, but with keen eye, we see everything. Forever. And with a bit of help from a potion, we dispatch the enemy inferior Pidgey. Bulbasaur can't withstand Oxford. Oh, Sankore. How wrongly you chose your Pokemon. Viridian Forest is full of bugs. Pidgey likes bugs. With Gust on our side, the whole forest essentially becomes one large donation hall, with everyone in it sacrificing their life juices for the benefit of Oxford. We dispatch trainer after trainer, forcing charitable donations from them as we defeat and grab as much XP from everyone we can along the way. Brock is the first gym leader, and with rock Pokemon, a level 12 Geodude and a level 14 Onix, he may represent a massive challenge for our poor Pidgey. We'll need all the strength that we can get. At level 13 we gain Quick Attack, very useful against speedy enemies like Rattata, and we emerge in Pewter City. Pidgey is now at level 14. I fear that will not be enough. Remember Calm Nature? Ursa remembers Calm Nature. He remembers it well. Until we defeat Brock, a random man insists on manhandling our 11-year-old protagonist into staying in Pewter, so we're forced to grind in Viridian Forest. Luckily, the spongy forms of the local Cocooners and Metapods do very well indeed. Pidgey likes soft bugs, and once we hit level 16, we're ready to try the gym. After hiding our assets by buying potions, we take on Camper Liam. We sand attack his Pokemon aggressively, but he counters with Defense Curl. With a Rock-type Geodude with maximum boosted defense, our Pidgey is forced to relentlessly beat, almost uselessly, over and over into Geodude's hard head. But fueled by potions, we prevail, eventually. Don't forget, Oxford is relentless in the pursuit of donations after all. Sandshrew is a similar challenge, but a much softer target, and fueled by a delightful critical hit, we again prevail. I am scared, however, but we're not ready for Brock, so we grind again until we hit level 17, where we return. His Geodude knows Rock Throw, the natural enemy of any academic institution, and a single hit to us could be devastating. Luckily, Oxford knows how to throw sand. 6 applications later, our Pidgey somehow bashes Geodude into submission in what can be only described as a very, very slow fight. Onix is next, and again, this time we must beware of Rock Tomb. We apply sand and use potions, hoping that Onix chooses to bind as much as it can. With the help of another delightful crit, again, we get the job done. Oxford cannot be deterred, and Brock agrees to donate to next year's, in quotes, bursary fund. I'm almost scared to see how caved in our Pidgey's bones must be after that fight, but hey ho, what else are Poke Centers for? We go on! We hide our winnings, donations, into yet more potions and head out into Route 3, stopped only by an aide to Professor Oak, who gives us a pair of running shoes from our mother, which must be about the most single mumsy thing imaginable in this game. Ursa, you forgot your gym kit! And we start the process of destroying trainers once more. At level 18, Pidgey starts trying to evolve, which we cancel. This is a Pidgey challenge after all. It is worth mentioning at this point, Pidgey will attempt to do this every single level up. It is very, very tiresome. I wish an Everstone was easy to obtain without catching so many Pokemon, but it's not. This is my life now. Level 19 sees us reject Whirlwind. Oxford never lets you escape after all, and by level 20, we reach the Poke Center on Route 4. This leads us to Mount Moon. Within, the Clefairies and Zubats are fine, but Geodudes will we run from like the plague. Not again. Never again. We first encounter Team Rocket in a very unremarkable battle. We see a trainer with clearly far too much energy doing zoomies in a cave. We feast upon some very tasty grass-type Pokemon. Delicious! And we discover the first and probably only very annoying thing about Team Rocket, their use of Ekans. It means that their Intimidate ability frequently lowers my Pidgey's stats, specifically its attack. Remember the calm nature? Ursa always remembers the calm nature. We find a TM for Thief, which we teach our Pidgey. It's a dark move, which in Generation 3 runs off special attack rather than attack, which isn't very strong for us at all. But now we have a way to damage rock-type Pokemon. We fear nothing now. Nothing! Saying that, a Hiker with 2 Geodudes and an Onix scare me half to death. Thank goodness the Thief, eh? And we learn Wing Attack at level 23 whilst fighting a Super Nerd. We replaced Gus. They're both flying type moves, but this one has 60 power rather than 40 power, so hooray for me! The fight was actually hilarious. His Grimer, or Grimmer, depending on whether you're wrong or right, tried to raise its defense. Fool. I brought Brock. You think you know defense. He then uses a Voltorb without a single electricity move, classic. We then steal a rare fossil at knife point. Sorry, I mean Pidgey point. Hang on, is there a difference? Probably not. I don't even care about the fossil, that's the sad thing. Oxford doesn't care about anything except itself. I leave Mount Moon and bump into 2 fighting men, arguing over punching or kicking. I leave knowing that both are inferior to Pidgey, before heading into Cerulean City and heading north to Nugget Bridge. My rival pops up again. Poor Sankore. He believes his evolved Pidgey can beat mine, the fool, and I proceed to one-hit the rest of his party, rinsing him for his charitable donations once again. Nuggets Bridge comes and goes before we find out that it's all a recruitment network for Team Rocket. Actually, Oxford respects this sort of underhand recruiting, so I won't actually judge them for doing that, but we put them in their place and move on. We then find a TM for Attract, which I think about using, but never actually get round to using, which, to be fair, it is actually a really good situational move at some stages in the game, and I could have well used it in this run. And from there, we move on to Bill's house. The route to him is covered in Hikers, which are a massive gamble for me. Fighting Pokemon? Good. Rock Pokemon? Bad. And a close encounter with a Geodude reminds me that I do need to buy super potions soon because Pidgey's health is a little bit more plump these days. I then find the TM for Secret Power, which is a massive upgrade for Pidgey, so I teach it right away. A 70 power normal move that can flinch or paralyze depending on the terrain. It also doesn't make contact with the enemy Pokemon, which is very useful against static Pokemon that paralyze on contact and needlepoint Pokemon that poison on contact. Very useful indeed. I find out that Trainer Chad has a huge snake. Remember again, I'm 11 in this game. And we rescue Bill from whatever questionable activity he was up to before he gives us a ticket to a party boat, the SS Anne, in return. Again, I am 11, why am I being invited to parties at sea? Oh well, I guess we'll take it. I fight all the trainers in Gym 2, getting Pidgey to level 30 and 69 max health. Nice. Before we take on Misty herself. I one-shot her pathetic Staryu, honestly. And then, it happens. Starmie. Starmie obliterates my poor Pidgey. I forgot again to buy super potions. We white out. Oxford is forced to taste defeat for the first time, handing over funds to Misty in recompense. But we shall not be deterred. We stock up on silver potions and again, we return to tackle Misty. This time, we trade attacks and Pidgey avoids confusion, which utterly devastated me in the first fight. We both then heal our Pokemon desperately, but eventually, a telling blow from Secret Power gives us the victory. Phew. Team Rocket blasts off again, this time from someone's back garden. What are the Kanto police even doing? They're stood right outside. And at level 31, we reject Feather Dance after some careful thought. Remember this move, right at the end, it does come back to haunt me. We take the underpass south of Cerulean City, defeating some very easy trainers on the way to the Million City. Ever notice how many cities in this game have less than 10 houses? Just saying. Once there, we obtain the Versus Seeker, a tool of XP grinders universally. We get bored to death by an old man promising us a free bike, and we reject an old rod from a man in a house. Again, I remind you, we are 11 years old. 11 years old, what is this game? My issue here is Gym 3. The Millions Gym is Lightning type, so it's going to be very hard. We need to get tougher, faster. Providing free electricity for students is the bane of any university. We head out to Route 11 east of Vermilion, where we destroy every trainer we can find. My fears about Gym 3 are confirmed, however, when we find Engineer Bernie. Mr. Sanders loves giving people free electricity and hates cheapskates like us. His first 2 Magnemites prove hard to beat, swallowing 3 super potions and a paralyze heal to do so. And then he whips out his Magneton. It takes all of the sand I can muster and 2 more super potions before eventually we prevail. We need to get seriously strong if we're going to take on Gym 3. Pidgey is beginning to show its weakness against evolved Pokemon, and that Raichu in the gym is fast. I go into the SS Anne, beacon of depravity, before doing what children do best. I burst into people's rooms without looking. Honestly, we're lucky not to see anything too bad on that boat. That is all I'm saying. I mean, why are the doors unlocked anyway? What is going on in this boat? And why is an 11-year-old child wandering unaccompanied around here? I then proceed to look in all the bins in a busy kitchen full of knives before I commit obvious theft by stealing goods that clearly belong to the people who stay in the rooms the items are found in. Remember everyone, Oxford is above the law. A donation is a donation, and it's all charitable, I tell you. All charitable. Finally, I pick up the TM for rest, which could come in handy, but then I remember how little Pidgey has in terms of HP anyway, so pocket it and never really see it again. I bump into Sankore again as he makes his way from the captain's quarters. I one-hit every Pokemon he owns again, and extort yet more charitable contributions from him, this time for next year's chapel fundraiser, before a captain gives me the HM for cut in exchange from a back rub from an 11-year-old child. Once the SS Anne leaves town, I look for a captive student, to teach cut to. Oddish will do. And we set off again. Remember the rules of this run. Pidgey is the only Pokemon that may gain XP. No other Pokemon in my party may at any time gain XP or be used willingly in any way in combat. When entering gyms or the Elite Four, only Pidgey may remain in my party, except for Gym 3 and 4, which require cut to be used, and in those cases the wielding Pokemon may accompany me, but only unconscious, which now I'm reading this back sounds a bit ominous for Oddish, doesn't it? Oh dear. Don't look away, Oddish. Look away. So to confirm, I may catch other Pokemon such as this Oddish for the sole purpose of using HMs to progress in the game. I also have to complete the Pokédex a little bit to obtain Flash, but that, again, is just another thing. Now, it is worth pointing out again in this game that you can complete it without learning Flash. It's just that I just couldn't stand going through the rock tunnel without it, so I'm kind of just circumventing that one. If you want to see 30 minutes of gameplay of me just running into walls not knowing where I am, I guess that could be content as well. I pick up the bike from Cerulean City before heading to Route 9 to extort donations from the trainers there. I also pick up Aerial Ace, which I replace Wing Attack with. It's pretty much exactly the same, but it can never miss, which is very handy. Before I encounter a bit of a problem with a trailing Oddish in my party, Roar. Forced into the fight, I'm left with only one option to avoid Oddish gaining any sort of XP. Sweet Scent. Phew. Let's never speak of this again. Sorry, Oddish. Sorry. Bugcatcher Brent on this route is a fantastic Versus Seeker target, by the way, with 2 high XP Beedrills for Pidgey to consume. Eventually, we level to level 39 so that we can reject Agility. We'll have better ways later in the game of increasing speed. Finally, with Pidgey level to 41, we enter Gym 3. Alas, cut is needed to enter this place. Oddish remains with us. Ooh, and I pick somebody. Oh dear, Oddish. I really wish I could have done this with somebody tougher than a Poliwag. This is painful. This is so slow. But once in, we again have a real split. Pikachus and Voltorbs owned by the trainers here can be one-shot. Magnemites, however, remain my mortal enemy, and I can still get stung badly if they hit me. I must be very careful and keep Pidgey healed out of the kill range. So, a lot of super potions. After plundering the very, very inconspicuous bins in the middle of the gym that the trainers blatantly tell me to look in, we eventually fight Lieutenant Surge. What a name. This is it. The hardest match so far. The fight of our lives. Our antithesis. Our weakness. Never mind, this gym was the easiest by far. It turns out that Surge relies on speed and attack, and our Pidgey is a beast. We outspeed every Pokemon in Surge's party and one-hit all of them with secret power. Brutal. Oxford cannot be stopped. Reluctantly, Surge lost and agreed to donate to next year's rowing competition fund. We travelled through Diglett's cave back to Route 2 to get the TM for Flash, but alas, I need to catch Pokemon. Well, I guess we're catching Pokemon then. I need 10. How hard can that be? Turns out very annoying. I couldn't damage the wild Pokemon as I couldn't risk accidental XP to Oddish, and Pidgey is an insatiable beast that cannot be trusted with wild Pokemon at all, so we threw a lot of Pokeballs. Eventually, we caught Rattata, Magikarp, Mankey, Spearow, Caterpie, Weedle, ignore my spelling here, and finally Diglett. Yeah, I'd lost the point by this place. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I taught Flash to Oddish and dumped all of the other Pokemon in my PC, never to see the light of day again. If I can't benefit from them, they're useless to us. It is, after all, the true Oxford way. We travel to Rock Tunnel where we have a rather interesting conversation from a local who loves to cosplay as Pokemon. Whatever gets you there, my friend, but I am 11. Before we stumble across Hiker Alan and... oh, bums. Yeah, that's not good. Hikers are a real problem for us. Rock throws can be brutal. We need to tread carefully here and again keep Pidgey out of knockout range. Lots of potions, lots of care. That's it, Ursa. Well done, Ursa. Let's just fight Hiker Lucas, way to Graveler. Oh no! Oh yeah, I hate Rock Tunnel. We win the rematch with both Hikers, and luckily all of the remaining Hikers in the tunnel have much weaker Pokemon that we can manage better. That's good. I'm not sure I could have explained again to the Oxford trustees where the special wine and cheese funds, sorry, I mean library funds were disappearing to, but in all seriousness, this was a warning shot. The Elite Four contains Bruno, a man who eats rocks for breakfast. At this point, defeating him is a distant hope at best. We really do need to get good. We leave Rock Tunnel and shortly after hit 100 max health at level 45, which is such a high level to do that with, but never mind, I always feel better about getting above 100 health for whatever reason. It's always a bit of a psychological thing for me when I play Pokemon. It feels good. We ride our luck with a few missed rock throws. That one was after a screech from an Onix as well. Gulp. But we eventually hit Lavender Town. The name rater lives here, by the way, but he refuses to rename my Pokemon because they're all perfect. Again, cough. Stocking up on more items to once again hide my assets from my mortal enemies, the Hikers. We scale the Pokemon Tower and encounter many people grieving the loss of their dead Pokemon. Man, this was a child's game, right? Right? Oh yeah, our rival is here as well, which is a thing, but again, Pidgey is so brutal. The only pain here is that Sankore now has 2 separate Pokemon with Intimidate, which is so annoying. Especially as basically Pidgey relies on the attack stat. But once I'm in the tower proper, life is a breeze. Pidgey is normal type, so ghost moves are ineffective against me, and Aerial Ace is strong enough to one-hit every Pokemon the trainers here throw at me. As we all know, Oxford is immune to ghosts, being so old, and fool, do you even know how many people's dreams I've died in Oxford? Ghosts have nothing on me. Wait, hang on, am I really stealing from the graves of dead Pokemon? Yes I am. I give a cleanse tag to Pidgey to help keep wild Pokemon away, which, for the purposes of this run, is a serious quality of life improvement. I refuse Mirror Move, even though it's tons of fun, and as a kid it was one of my favourite moves. And I get turned away by a very scary looking ghost. Off to get the Sylph Scope. Route 8 West has nothing of interest at all, apart from a funny moment where a muck tries to minimise "Nothing escapes Pidgey, fool! Nothing!" before we take the underpass to Celadon City, where we take some tea from a strange lady. Clearly, stranger danger, not an issue in Kanto. I also go to town with the charitable funds, sorry, I mean government subsidies, in Celadon's department store. I buy calcium for Pidgey to max its inherent attack, which by the way, I'm not going too much into in this run. I wasn't managing EV and I couldn't really be bothered to, before buying some X-Attack for later. X-Attack will be very important in this run. Imagine Pidgey is Oxford's rowing team. We've been talking it through, and if we want to beat the Elite Four, which in this analogy is Cambridge's rowing team, we need to fall back on performance enhancing drugs, and in this case, X-Attack. Is it ethical? Oh no. Is it moral? Oh no. Will Pidgey artificially get swole from steroids and form a life-altering addiction from the drugs? Oh yes. I fed a small girl's sugar addiction to get 3 TMs I'll never use, and I took a coin case from a man who had lost it all. And after attacking a man in a public casino who was very loudly protecting a poster, we venture into Team Rocket's secret casino base. It's kind of like a secret moon base, but worse. This also might be the worst Team Rocket based in Pokemon. Oh no, I dropped my lift key. Whoopsie. What a shame! We then burst into an office to find Giovanni, Team Rocket's leader. He has an Onyx and a Rhyhorn, which I use Thief to dispatch, before secret powering a kangaroo to death. That's right, an 11-year-old has defeated Team Rocket's casino fence. Yep, I'll take that Silphscope, thank you. We now venture to Gym 4, where we find a creepy old man staring at a gym full of women. Again, this is a kid's game, right? But to get in again, we need Cut, which means, again, Oddish must die. The rest of the gym, grass gym, is about the easiest thing I've done on this run so far. Every single trainer here, including Erica the leader, is swept aside by the insatiable educational entity that is Oxford. All are forced to submit and contribute to next year's Rector's Leaving Fund. Sorry, I mean Bursary Fund. Leaving Celadon City, I give the old lady's tea to some border guards. Wait, how much tea was I actually carrying? How big was that lady's teapot? Seriously, I'm British. I must have this. Before we box Oddish and take on the fighting dojo. Pidgey laughs at the supposed merits of all the fighting Pokemon within, and within minutes, we had fought and defeated leader Kochi. I took Hitmonchan because why not? His gloves are cute. He might be able to help me fleece the students for more battles. Sorry, I mean help secure the college at night. Yes, we're not getting donations with him, I promise. I stock up on hyper potions and return to Lavender Tower, where the ghost was a Marowak, the mother of the Cubone and the recipient of death at the hands of Team Rocket. Alas, death means nothing to Oxford. They will come for you eventually. And we force our way upstairs, freeing Mr. Fuji, who insists he was there by choice. Sure, he does give us a poker flute though, so that is cool. I then pick up Return, an insane TM for a normal type move that we will save for later. It'll feature heavily in the game, but for now, it's just in my bag. We head south afterwards so Oxford can extort kindly ask some local fishermen for donations, but then we stumble into a double battle. Bums. I genuinely flail around for a while hoping Oddish will get killed, and then I remember Oxford is a heartless beast, and Pidgey just turns around and straight out kills Oddish. Let's never speak of that again, that was vicious. A student seems to have escaped its dormitory and is sleeping again on the street, but Pidgey removes it with force, and we then travel from Route 12 to Route 13. There are so many bird keepers here, it's insane, including so many inferior Pidgeys, I almost pity them. And we bash our way through without any mercy at all, before we hit Route 14 and yet more Pidgeys. Oh, and some Pidgeotos. Not that evolving makes any difference, you are still inferior. Route 15 literally is no different, but we are brought back to Earth slightly by some Weezings here. Their high defense means that they aren't killed in one, and we have to burn through a few antidotes as we get poisoned. Rude. We then again stumble into a double battle by accident. Oops, sorry Oddish. Never speak of this. We also take an ice punch to the face, but luckily Pidgey has now ascended to Thanos-esque chin strength and we push through. After far too long we hit Fuchsia City, and after boxing a very unhappy Oddish we hit Gym 5, a poison gym. Even at level 60, the first trainer we encounter avoids being killed in one, which is a bit of a worrying thought, but fear not. Even with some very annoying Arboks that keep removing our attack, so annoying, we eventually challenge Koga. Pidgey gets poisoned by Muck, but that actually turns into an advantage. Remember, this is only regular poison, not toxic, which we're now luckily immune to. And even after minimizing to get all small and sneaky, you cannot hide from Oxford, and we soldier through. After that, Coughing offers nothing, and Wheezing just becomes a slug match, which we win handily. We take the badge, a TM for Toxic, which is sometimes useful, and when you think about it, actually, it kind of makes sense. Oxford is one of the most toxic places in life, so the fact that Pidgey can learn Toxic kind of makes sense. And we leave, collecting Cougar's donation to next year's second home funds. Restoration of the Grade 2 accommodation. Yeah, that's what it was. Next up, the Safari Zone, where Sanity goes to die. I collect the TM for Steel Wing, which I'll keep in reserve as an option for Pidgey to deal with Ice and Steel types. I end up catching a Doduo, a Nidorino, and a Rhyhorn. Literally for no reason, I was just mashing buttons and I kept pressing Launch Ball by accident. Before finally we pick up Gold Teeth for the Warden. Ever notice how the sign saying, "Look for gold teeth, okay thanks," is right by the teeth? Weird, huh? I take the TM for double team, which I'll teach to Pidgey in a little bit, and we collect Surf from a very bored warden. I wonder if, when he gave me the HM, he was wondering why an 11-year-old child had been let in to wander a safari park and throw rocks at endangered Pokemon by itself. Nah, he probably just wants to give Surf to me because I look cool. Yay! Back in Fuchsia, the warden gives us strength. We get a rare candy from behind a boulder in his literal front room. I guess style and feng shui was weird in 2004? I then show my exceptional athleticism by cycling the wrong way up Route 18 and then Route 17, and at the top of the cycle path, I find a gang of 6 bikers chilling at the top. I pummel them, one by one. I make all of the others watch me as I do it. Oxford takes no mercy. I murder- relocate a second Snorlax, totally forgetting about the leftovers, which would have been very handy in this run. And I take Fly from a lady who rightfully wants to get away from the world. I can't blame her, but Oxford, unfortunately, will always find you and always try and collect donations. Even if you move up north, I then return to Saffron City and head to Silphco. Do you remember when I said that the rocket hideout under the casino was the most annoying rocket hideout? I lied. Yeah, Silphco takes ages. I take a bit of a close call here, but after teaching Pidgey the TM for return, which, by the way, is now just over 100 strength because Pidgey loves me, I find the bed which lets me heal without leaving the building, making the entire thing trivial. My rival pops up once again, and once again, Pidgey collects Sankore's charitable donations. I literally breeze through his entire party. Venusaur briefly puts me to sleep, but only really delays the inevitable. Shortly after, I then meet someone willing to give a rare Lapras to a child. Again, what? High on confidence, I then crash into a meeting room, again, and fight Giovanni, again, with Pidgey, fierceful, aggressive, majestic, raging in a field of death and oh, bums. Yeah, Rock Blast, even with a crit, or even without a crit, is nasty. After handing over some of the cash I was hiding under the mattress, some of the savings we had made from internal efficiencies, I return for a second attempt, and this time I get much luckier with the fight. Return takes care of everything here, but again, this fight teaches me that we are nowhere near Elite Four ready. I heal, dump my team into the PC, replace Sand Attack with Double Team, and get serious. Gym 6 is a Psychic Gym. Psychic Pokemon tend to rely on speed and special attack to do damage. Luckily for me, Pidgey is like a bullet, and with a speed advantage, only Slowbro can actually avoid being one hit by my moves. Sabrina, the gym leader, offers nothing that Double Team and Return can't handle, and after collecting her charitable donations, I return to Pallet Town on the wings of my trusty Doduo. Yeah, don't ask, it's just... no, don't ask. Just don't ask. We head south from Pallet Town, surfing on my Squirtle, again, don't ask. Enjoy the fact that Secret Power now makes it look like Pidgey is using Surf, and we hit Cinnabar Island and unlocked Gym 7. We then wander into the spooky Pokemon Mansion to find the key. We hit level 69, nice, and we wonder, why is it that burglars seem to use so many fire Pokemon? Was it a mistake, or a mistranslation, or literally, do they just mean that all burglars are arsonists? We'll never know. I have yet another close call against my good friend Magneton before obtaining the key, healing up, and dumping my Pokemon once again. We then head into Gym 7, ignoring all of the fiendish questions in order to grind every trainer here for donations and XP. Blaine is the first gym leader I need to get serious with, so I basically make Pidgey a drug-fueled hench creature. I'm particularly worried about his signature move Fire Blast, which terrifyingly tough against my weak, feathery Pidgey. I really do need to play smart here. I burn 6 double teams to make Oxford harder to pin down than a competent lecturer that cares about your grades, and I fuel Pidgey up with 3 X attacks. Fueled with performance-enhancing drugs, Pidgey sweeps Blaine and proves that with the right setup, this game might be possible. I leave the gym to return to the mainland when I'm rudely interrupted by Bill, who literally kidnaps an 11-year-old child onto his private boat whisking me away to one island to meet his friend Celio, in what must be the most pointless diversion in Fire Red. His computer is busted and he needs Bill to fix it, but in the meantime, Bill wants me to take a thing to a guy on 2 Island, but he lost his kid, who is literally called Lost Et, so you go to 3 Island, just for some bikers who are praised for being tough in a group, wait, and take me on, one by one. Yep, this is the most pointless diversion in Fire Red. We have a close call, but eventually pass through Bond Bridge to track down Lost Ed. Have you ever noticed how the small kids here are genuinely stronger than Misty? She wiped me, you know. We track down Lost Ed in the Berry Woods, a haunted place where a legitimately terrifying Hypno is skulking her, but we save the day by killing it. Sorry, I mean moving it on to a better place. Eventually, we return to Kanto and head back to Viridian, where we heal, box, and head to the final Gym 8, a ground-type gym. The black belts here have lots of high XP fighting Pokemon, which is very good. There are, however, a bunch of rock types here that are no fun at all. Double Team helps me progress until we meet Tamer Jason, who alas, needs help paying off his student loan, and boom! Ouch. Yeah, that was 7,200 Pokédollars. Oh, we do get him on the second try, but still, ouch. I was going to use that money to retire on, sorry, I mean pay the university cleaners more. It's in this gym that I develop a theory that Nidoqueen ignores double teams, as one hits me repeatedly after I use double team 5 times, but hey, we make it too. Oh no, look, it's a shock, it's Giovanni. Even though we've defeated him twice already, Giovanni's not prepared for our Pidgey, and we 6 double team, 4 X attack and 1 X defense him to basically create an unstoppable Mecha Pidgey. We sweep his entire team like it's nothing until Nidoqueen, again, who ignores double team, seemingly at will, but we do defeat him and basically count this as an easy win. Badge 8 is mine. We return to Celadon to buy stacks of performance-enhancing drugs and make our way back to the Elite Four, bumping once again into our rival. Double Team, X Attack and Return sweeps his party, but those 2 Intimidates remain very annoying. We collect his charitable donations and continue on, passing through the 8 gates and arriving at Victory Road. I'm gonna have to admit, I hate Victory Road on every Pokemon generation. This iteration involves pushing rocks onto some buttons, which I guess isn't so bad. What is more fun though is the cool trainers. Cool, you say? Ha, they must have thirsts from Oxford. Ha ha ha. Yeah, genuinely though, some of these trainers are legit tougher than a lot of the gym fights we've had to do up until this point. Luckily for me, Pidgey continues their drug-fueled rage against them. I like the grass ones as well. Victory Road is long, and I do have to recover PP with an elixir at one point, but eventually we stumble blindly into a double battle. Oops. Sorry. Oxford remains a brutal establishment and Pidgey literally has to kill my entire team before then turning on the enemy. A massacre has occurred here today, and we shall never speak of it again. I finally learned Double Edge as a brutal replacement for Secret Power, 120 strength that move, and we finally navigate through the worst maze ever created before hiding our wealth in full restores. I then throw all of my rare candies I've been saving at Pidgey, creating a level 84 monster, and I believe Oxford is truly ready now. First up, Lorelei. Dewgong has a scary ice beam, so we double team away from it with lightning precision. In the entire fight, we only get hit once, and we ingest enough X attack to sink a small ship. It then means we can sweep the rest of the fight with Return. Cloyster does protect twice in a row, which is annoying, but again, only delays the inevitable, and a Pidgey progresses. Bruno is next. I have genuinely been scared of Bruno this entire run. Luckily though, I forgot this. He starts with an Onix, a Pokemon much more geared to defense than attack. And again, it gives me time to absolutely stuff my Pidgey with X attack, X defense, and some double teams. I then one-hit his rock Pokemon with normal moves, I savage his fighting Pokemon with Aerial Ace, and at the end of the fight, as an Onix misses a Double Edge, I return the favour in kind. Oxford cannot be stopped. Agatha is next, who again suffers from the issue of ghost types being useless against my normal Pidgey. After all, Oxford is built for the normal people, the masses. The battle pretty much progresses literally like all of the rest, with Aerial Ace making short work of all of her ghosts. Lance is 4th, and with electric and ice moves hiding within his Pokemon lineup, I have to be careful here. Gyarados first up reduces my attack and has a lethal Hyper Beam which I use Double Team to avoid. All is going well until Aerodactyl hits an Ancient Power which gives me a serious fright. But even Lance's final Dragonite can't withstand a Double Edge from my Pidgey, which as a sentence sounds just right. Pidgey has done it. Pidgey has defeated the Elite Four. But alas, there is one more battle. Our rival, our inferior, Sankore. Pidgeot is up first, a Pokemon I know well. An inferior being to my Pidgey. I load up with X-Defense until... bums. Well, yeah, that's embarrassing. Still, a fluke. Oxford cannot be stopped. We return, kill the Pidgeot, and start to juice Pidgey up against Varidon, who doesn't have Aerial Ace and... double bums. Is this it? Have we reached the limit of Pidgey? Surely not. Sankore has been waiting, learning, and they have grown. Have they become a better university? No, they can't done. We refuse. It cannot be. 6 X-Defense stop all of the Aerial Aces and I stay out of their crit range with potions. X-Attacks come next and I double team, even though Pidgeot can see me, the other Pokemon won't afterwards. Pidgeot eventually runs out of Aerial Ace and starts throwing random moves at me, but annoyingly, I have to use almost 20 X-Attacks because Pidgeot still hits me with Feather Dance repeatedly, each time removing 2 stacks of my X-Attack. Very frustrating. Also, can we just take a moment to imagine how jacked up my Pidgey must be at this point? 26 different items that have been used to boost him. Oh my goodness, how is that Pidgey's heart still going? But finally, the time has come. Pidgeot falls. Rhydon uses up Sankore's full restore, but then again, falls. Alakazam gets a future sight off, but falls. Gyarados falls. Arcanine falls. It's only Venusaur left, but Future Sight, oh it misses! It's done! With a final flutter, Pidgey transcends. Oxford replaces Sankore for all eternity as the greatest university in the world, and Pidgey clears the Elite Four by itself. So there we have it. One Pidgey boy against Fire Red. Challenge complete. Oxford has taken its formal place as the greatest thing in the world. Maybe. This video has been an absolute joy to film, edit and share with you. I really hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy what you see, please like and comment and share the video around. I'd love to do more of this sort of thing. And if you want to stop by to Discord, I'd be happy to talk Pokemon about the run or about the games. It's a big love of mine. But until then, Pidgey has to go to rehab. I've been watching and the shakes have started and the feathers have begun to fall out. But then it happens. In true Oxford style, Pidgey was kicked out without formal warning or notice. Bastards. It's almost like Oxford kicks out people that are struggling. Oh, I don't know. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Salty Tech, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Doughboy91, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Skeptical Bear, Kroger Brand Trail Mix, Alex Noob, Cinnamon Beard, Portland, Petra Ryan, Matthew Hatch, Emir EC, Henry, Rom88, Radiatore, and Private Selection Genoa Salami for all of your support as well as everybody that leaves comments and interacts with the channel generally. Thank you so much. See you all next time.